Hi, my name is Emily Waters, and the Makerspace activity that I created are personalized name stamps for students to create. This project was inspired by the book The Name Jar, written by Young Suk Choi. And the basis of this book is a young girl named Eun-hee moves from Korea. And at first, she wants to take an American name and she just wants to hide and kind of conform to her new culture. And then through the friends she meets and she comes to realize is that her individuality and her uniqueness is something to celebrate. And one of the things that she has that helps not define her, but that shows her uniqueness is a stamp that represents her Korean name. So I wanted students to be able to have a chance to make their own individual design that represents them, their name, and who they are. This project relates to libraries, or this project benefits students first because it allows them, one, to creatively express themselves. So it really encourages that creation and thinking about a design that represents their uniqueness and their individuality. Second, also has some problem solving in it, as students have to figure out how they're going to design their shape that where it can be cut out in a pattern that will show up. They have to think about positive and negative space and what's going to make the best stamp. They also have to do a little bit of problem solving and how if they want to spell a word, gluing it down in a way that it will transfer onto the paper correctly, because on the stamp it has to be in reverse to transfer correctly. So there's problem solving that goes along with the creativity in here. It connects to the school library standards, and then I think it promotes the foundation of inclusion or inclusivity. And then specifically underneath that, the standard of creation, one, interacting with learners who reflect a range of perspectives. They're going to be interacting with each other, and their perspective on life is different. It's individual, and that's what they're expressing on the stamp. They're also evaluating a variety of perspectives during the learning activity and representing their diverse perspectives as they create these. So as I was creating the project, the basicness is that you have the cardboard backing, you have a foam sheet that you cut your shape out of. I would probably give students a smaller piece to work with, like I had a smaller piece to work with down here. Then they cut out their shape and you glue it onto the cardboard backing. Then you use a regular ink pad, press the stamp on there. So you want to make sure your pieces are small enough to fit on the stamp pad. That's another difficulty I ran into at first. My designs were too big. And then you can transition it to paper. Another difficulty that I ran into is realizing that you're going to have to help students problem solve and think through, if I want my letters to say EBW whenever I transfer it onto paper, I have to glue it in reverse on the stamp because it'll be flipped once you put it down. So helping kids realize that before they glue, maybe planning and organizing how it's going to look before they glue the shapes down. Other challenges that I foresee in implementing this with youth, cutting foam is more difficult than cutting regular paper. So for those students that are developing fine motor skills, having bigger shapes to cut would be helpful for them. They're going to need some more practice, or having pre-cut pieces and the students can make their own pattern that's not necessarily letters or designed by them. Also, having pre-cut cardboard, or another difficulty I see, is once again teaching the kids that they're going to have to glue in reverse so that the stamp shows up correctly. Some advice I have pre-cut cardboard backing and then the foam piece that they're going to cut their shapes out of already set in advance so the kids know what space they're working with. And then, like I also said, for the younger students, maybe already have pre-cut pieces and they're just going to make a design out of it. Or you could even have pre-cut letters as well on those sticky foam letters. It costs less than $10 to make. All I had to buy was the foam and the ink pad. Everything else, scissors and glue and pencils and paper to stamp the design on, are things you're probably already going to have. So probably around $5 to get, even less than $5 to get the actual foam sheet and then the ink pad. The last thing I want to share is, if you're doing this project, have the book The Name Jar either read in the library beforehand or available for students to watch or listen to, so that while they're creating these projects, you can be having those conversations of encouraging individuality and why that stamp represents them and why their personality is the best personality they can have, the best fit for them than any other personality or characteristics out there. So pairing the book with the project really will encourage those conversations of individuality and including each other as they create them. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.